Dislike my 26F boyfriend's 27M friends for ethical reasons. My boyfriend is a really kind guy with a great set of values that we are aligned on. He's in the entrepreneurial world and has a set of friends who are very business-minded, entrepreneurial, ambitious, and wealth-driven. I appreciate how driven my partner is, and I know he enjoys surrounding himself with people who also share similar goals. Those are good qualities to have. At the same time, I just really cannot stand a few of his friends. One of his best friends in this group is currently in the real estate world. This friend started off as an analyst and now has bought a couple of properties. These are properties in cities that are going through major housing crises, by the way, as rents keep skyrocketing. I recently learned that this friend is trying to use owner-occupation laws to essentially evict the current tenants so he can live there and then increase the rents for the whole building. He is trying to bypass our state's current eviction moratorium laws, although I don't think he's able to, which has led him to be frustrated. Look, I'm not against real estate business. I think it can be a decent way to increase wealth on the side, if you're doing things ethically. But trying to evict tenants during a pandemic? Honestly, hearing about this friend enrages me. My boyfriend understands this was a shitty thing to do, but he is still friends with this person. How do you gently tell your boyfriend that you dislike his friends? Is it fair to assert that someone who acts in this way isn't the best company to keep? I don't think you should try to control your boyfriend's friends. I think you should ask yourself how different from his friends your boyfriend actually is. He already knows you don't like real estate. Friend, he agreed it was a shitty thing to do. But you cannot control who his friends are, ever. What you can do is try to limit time spent with him. Except business practices are often not run based on the high morals, because that doesn't equate high profit, but you could get to know him on a personal basis and not discuss business with him. What you absolutely cannot do is control your BF on who he hangs out with or badmouth them. Always be respectful of their connection. This means you can say friend is an a-hole for what he is attempting to do and you don't respect him because of his business practices, and then you drop it. I, as a renter, have never met a good real estate agent. To answer your two questions directly, yes, there is a way to tell your boyfriend that you dislike his friends. Use those exact words. People seem so scared to just do that, but sometimes saying how you feel is the best way to get what you want, or at least, make it known. What he does after that is on him. It is absolutely fair to assert your opinion that someone who acts this way isn't the best company to keep. Your feelings are always valid, but making him do something because of them is not. Whatever you decide to do with yourself because of those feelings is also fair. There are a lot of capitalist fanboys in this comment section. Anyway, take a good hard look at your boyfriend. The company someone chooses to keep says a lot about them, and I'd bet anything that if you dug deeper on this you'd find even more unsavory stuff. Not really your place to have him justify his friendships. You don't have to like them, but he is his own person and has history with people independent of you. You can even tell off the friend if you will feel better, but then you add complexity to your relationship. You can also make an anonymous complaint if he is breaking eviction laws. Your boyfriend's friends' business dealings aren't your concern, to be honest. Literally has nothing to do with you in any direct way. You don't have to like nor be friends with his friends. Ethical, LOL. Bringing this up is a solid chance to bring up communism, comrade. My girlfriend just doesn't hang out with my friends she doesn't like, lol. It is awkward to say oh yeah she isn't coming TN, but better than forcing her to go. You don't have to like all his friends. People in business simply think differently when it comes to money, and no matter how good your boyfriend's values are, I think he understands the business side of what his friend is doing. It's cold, but logical in terms of making a profit, even if we can't relate to the method. I think you can say you don't really want to spend time with that friend anymore, but I don't think you have a right to tell your boyfriend to ditch said friend, nor do I think this is any sort of deal breaker. If you're dating a wealthy guy, there are going to be certain caveats. I think if he's a good friend of someone who is a POS, then you have ask what motivates him to turn a blind eye. What else would he just shrug off if his friends did it? I don't think you and your boyfriend are compatible over the long term. Honestly, I would try to see if he would mentor you in investing. See if you can get documentation of his illegal actions, then have his tenants sue him and take his money. Another option would be to save up tons of capital from your wages at your job, then invest it until you can buy a rental property, and then rent out your property at rates below market rates to other people who you think deserve low rent. Since it is so easy, it seems like you should be able to do it. Problem. Maybe just politely decline hanging around those in his life that you don't want to be around and do your own thing. Guys don't let drop their friends easily, accepting that is important. It's only a deal breaker if the person is having a serious impact on your man or your relationship. I personally wouldn't make this an issue. You will just create friction in your relationship. Your relationship is with one individual, not that individual's associates. Keep it separate. Keep OT simple. Less stress that way. You can say you dislike him, but your boyfriend can still choose to be friends with him. This probably isn't much consolation, but if you two make it 4 or 5 more years, most of these friends will likely fade away. At least that's what I've noticed. To me, it sounds like he doesn't want to lose an opportunity, which is fair. He's agreed that it's shitty and he still sounds like a good guy. Talk to him about this, and if he refuses to stop being friends with that guy, then think about it. Opportunities are hard to let go, especially if you're climbing an economical ladder. And no, I am not a capitalist fanboy. Just tell him that the person she's friends with is a shitty douche. My mom was evicted by some assholes that bought the property, so you just have to tell your boyfriend that you think he's an asshole. Info. Are the tenants he's trying to evict not paying their rent? Or does he just want to kick them out so he can live there? You wouldn't have liked Jesus's friends either. Do you think this could be all you? You just tell him. Adults communicate clearly and directly. Do you want him to end this friendship? You can just tell him. I mean, obviously you're a different person. He likes them for a reason. I'm sure he would probably tell you that, yeah, Tom's an asshole, but I still enjoy his company. Or something similar. But is a nitpick. People throw ethics around entirely too easily. Sounds like your BF's friend is following the law. Even if he is trying to work around the limitations, he seems to want to do so legally. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't get to choose his friends. Just tell him. Also, report that guy without telling him. I have zero tolerance for scumbags, so would do that myself. I mean, I'd just tell him you don't like what the friend is doing and you don't want to be around him because of it. And I'd consider this a yellow flag. It's great to be driven, but if he looks past really shitty behavior, it makes me wonder if he himself wouldn't do something shitty. I'm curious how long you've been with your BF, though. Have there been any indications that he would ever condone other questionable practices or would overlook them? Because I think there's a difference between being business-minded, entrepreneurial, ambitious, and wealth-driven, and being a ghoul. Why don't you ask your boyfriend's friend if he is aware of how unethical he's being? Perhaps he is blind-sighted by money and doesn't realize how what he's doing may be to the detriment of families and fellow citizens. You get to choose your friends and your boyfriend. You don't get to make value judgments on your boyfriend's friends' entrepreneurial efforts, because you aren't that smart and you don't make that much money. Your boyfriend is a grown man, and to be honest, being friends doesn't mean you agree with everything your friend does. Everyone's got their thing, and although his friend is greedy, I'm sure you've got friends who have some shady characteristics too. I have some, and I'm sure you do too. Hopefully whatever his friends have discovered about you doesn't cause them to tell your boyfriend to dump you. Because you are the company you keep. You don't have to be friends with his friends. Just don't hang out with them. You are making an issue out of something that is of no concern to you. Broke up with a friend for being friends with someone who was racist, sexist, and homophobic. Crazy thing is, my ex-friend is not white by race but can pass and a woman. Anyways, whatever you allow to slide ethically, in terms of the company you keep and being knowledgeable about it, falls on you as well. Wow, you are so much of a controlling woman that you want to control his friends too. Geez, what is wrong with women nowadays? I can see if it was your boyfriend who had twisted sense of morals. But you are such a control freak that you want to ruin a great friendship. SMH. Mind your own business. Stop trying to control people. Mind your own business. Yeah, your partner is the same. If your goal is wealth, you're an enemy to the planet.